G'day fellas, and welcome to the FFA guide for the English. The English are a pretty strong FFA civ. They're a little bit slow to get going, but once you've got momentum, they really start to sprint out of the blocks. Let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about the opening and the resources you should be looking for when you start. The first thing you're going to want to do is grab all your villages and all your units, so Control Shift A, and you're going to want to move them towards the edge of the map. You want to avoid being in the middle as the English. You don't want to be targeted. You do need some time to come online. The most important resource we're looking for is gold and a secondary source of food. So whether that's berries, whether that's deer, whether that's a boar, any of those combinations are always really nice to have. And the other thing that we want is we want to try and have wood and stone relatively close. We don't need them. The main priority though is gold. We really need gold underneath our town center because as the English, it's going to be a huge part of what we do, and we're going to be very dependent on it. If we don't get gold, it is going to be a struggle for us. So this strategy is going to be very similar to the Japanese fast castle that we did for the Japanese FFA guide. So if you're familiar with that, we're going to be borrowing a lot of similar strategic elements from them. They play very similar, the civilizations. I would probably say the Japanese is a little bit quicker out of the blocks, but when it comes to the late game, the economy is a little bit better for the English. So they're also a little bit more defensive, the English as well. They've got a couple more advantages. So once you've decided to put down your TC, obviously you're bringing down all of your villages, and what you're going to do is scout around with your king. You're looking for any enemy locations, and we can see now that the yellow king, we've spotted him out, he's right here, and we've seen him sprinting over, and now he's going to head back. To me, that says that yellow is nearby. He's very close by, because the king, normally you would see it moving in one direction, right? Like you would see it come from this south side and then move across here, and that would be because the town center for yellow would be somewhere up here. But we didn't see that. We saw the yellow king come in, and then he ducked on out. So that probably means that the king is, the town center for the Abbasid player is somewhere around here. So this is not a pretty start by any means of the term. But fortunately, we've got a couple of tools up our sleeve that we can use to try and make it a little bit prettier. So we're going to start off all villages over onto berry, deer, boar, whatever it is that you've got. If you do have boar nearby, you want to lure your, use your villagers to lure the boar, and then use your king to tank the boar. So you basically want to put your king underneath your town center, and then use one villager to lure the boar, bring it over to your king, and then put that villager behind your king. The boar will then start attacking the king, and then you're going to kill the boar with all of your villagers together. That's essentially it. So we're going to start off with a scout. We're going to move towards the middle of the map. We've thrown a mill down here. Now, you can look to put down some farms early on. I would recommend not doing it. I'd say just focus on berries, focus on sheep, anything like that. And we do spot out that the enemy is indeed very close to us, making sure we use the sprint ability as soon as we see that the enemy is a little bit, or as soon as the town center starts firing at us. So now that we're in this position, it's a pretty standard English opening. You guys will be familiar with it. Starts off as 5-1, then moves up to 6-1, then we go from 6-1 to 6-2, and then we go up to 9-2. It's a very simple English opening. We're going to be looking to go for a fast castle here. We're going to be looking to put down a second town center. A little bit of a mistake here from me, excuse me. Sorry guys, do as I say, not as I do. You know, you can't always get them perfect. There we go, we're fixing it up now though. And we're looking to prioritize sheep here. So there are a couple of sheep close to our town center. We just made sure we sent them back here. So yeah, general game plan here is that we're going to be going into a second town center. We're going to be 50 population already going over to green. Geez, that's nice to start the game with when you oh, what the hell happened over here? Jeez Louise, look at this. A little bit of a villager battle. Gee whiz. All the vills just they died. I wish I'd seen what happened. I guess we were a little bit too focused. Nice little spot he's got back here. Have a look at this. He's right up against the edge of the map. This is kind of nice. Interesting decision to not put down the TC and to instead start killing the deer, but there he goes. All right, so a little bit of a late start for him. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The town center is finally going down. Meanwhile, we're thinking about going to feudal age. So definitely when it comes to chance of success over here, it's always nice having that extra 50 pop. But I tell you what, I wonder about this guy. Can I check? I want to check something. I'm checking. Don't worry. Just checking. Just checking. Doesn't seem to be looking at anything other than what he should be. This seems fine to me. Yeah, you see. Yeah, that's fine. It was in his fog. Okay. Hold on a minute. How do we get back here? Was it because I undid the free camera? Yeah, okay, good. I was like, hold on a minute. Why are we looking over here? Never mind. It was just me. So we're going to go up with the Abbey of Kings. And what we're going to do is, as soon as we've clicked up with the Abbey of Kings, we're going to put a couple of villages here over on wood. We're going to put a couple of villages over on stone because we're going for a second town center. We want to start off by going in for that second town center very, very quickly. We only need 2 vills on the age up. Don't need any more than that because we don't need to rush this age up. You can definitely rush it and you can be very aggressive with your Abbey of Kings. But I said, you know what? I'm not feeling it right now. You know, I'm happy if we just want to take this one slow. So we're going to take it slow here. And we're going to work towards that second town center, get it up, get it online. And that will allow us an economy to begin building. That will allow, or rather, that will allow our economy to begin building. And slowly over time, we'll add more and more in. Now, when it comes to your Castle Age landmark, we'll talk a little bit about that shortly. But you do have options there. I would recommend the King's Palace, though. I do think it's probably a better landmark when it comes to FFA, even though I'm a big fan of the White Tower. And it's always nice to have the extra defensive building so early in the game. I think that the flexibility that it provides you is great to have. But just there's just something that's really nice about having that third TC online. All right, so now that we've collected the resources that we need to build our second town center, we're going to go ahead and throw it down. Now, because our first town center is already on the gold, we don't have to worry too much about securing gold. So instead, what we're going to do is just secure wood. So we're going to go put this town center on the wood line. On top of that, I'm going to put it away from my nearest enemy. I know over here that our opponent is... or does have the potential to threaten us. If he goes for a military wing, he could look to potentially do maybe some early battering ram shenanigans. So I don't want to be putting my town center up here where it could be exposed. I want to put it as far away from him as possible. So that's what we're going to look to do. And naturally, we're going to start moving out with our brand new king. And our king is going to start putting pressure on our opponent straight away. And this is great because it's for free, right? So we're not investing anything in that other than obviously the 600 resources we needed to age up. And we're now able to put pressure on our opponent. We're beginning to take out villages here. And our opponent is really upset. Now, our opponent might even think about leaving the game here. Fortunately, they're not going to do it at this stage. They're gonna allow us to have a little bit of fun first. So, now that the second town center is up, we want to focus on getting castle. Now, getting castle... will depend on a number of factors, but the most important one is how many sheep you've got and how much readily available food you have. If you've got a deer pack here and a deer pack here, don't worry about putting down farms. Just throw 10 vills on gold, rally everybody out over to food, and get yourself a very quick castle age. I'm just going to turn this bad boy down because I've just realized we got the English voices. They love to scream and shout, those guys. But yeah, so we only really want to prioritize a farming economy if we don't have a lot of food nearby, because we are going to need farms eventually. So the sooner we get them down, it's definitely helpful. So you can opt for any number of villages on wood, whether that's 6, 8, 10, 12, somewhere in that region is absolutely fine. And one of the key things that you want to be doing is just adding in farms as soon as you can. So you can see we're looking to spend all of our wood as soon as we possibly can. We're stacking up a little bit at the moment, but it's important to note we will be looking for upgrades. So we'll be picking up all of our upgrades, all of our basic eco upgrades. So you can see there is our wheelbarrow. So we'll also be picking up double broadaxe, and we'll make sure that we pick up horticulture when we've got the ability to do that as well. So we're maximizing our economy here in the feudal age. We don't want to go into that third town center. You can go into a third TC. I wouldn't recommend it though. It's just the tempo or the meta in FFA games at the moment is definitely quite a fast-paced tempo. So you still want to go for 2 town centers. It's just that you want to try and get castle quickly so that you can begin making units. And 3 TCs, it's not fast enough basically. So we're adding in more and more farms here. So we're up to, what are we up to? 14 farms. A decent amount of farms. We've got sheep under the town center. We can always fall back over onto berries as well. And we're just looking to be annoying with our king. So all we're doing is just preventing our opponent from gathering up resources. We know that they're going to Castle Age, so they're going to have camels very, very soon. So we're just going to be annoying in the meantime while they wait for those camels. And that's a really good thing for us because we're going to be going for Castle Age as well. The only difference is, you may be seeing it, we're on 2 town centers. We're about to be on 3 town centers right now. And our opponent, who's also going Castle Age, is on 1 TC. So we're 3 TCs right now versus 1. So in the short term, we're not necessarily going to have the advantage, but we're going to be spending more resources on villages, whereas our opponent's going to be spending more resources on units. But give it about a minute or two, and we're going to be feeling very good. If we take a look right now, we're on 48 vills. Compare that over to yellow, and keep in mind we've been killing his villagers. He's on 30 vils, so that's a pretty big difference there. 30 vils versus 49. We've already got a 19 villager advantage, and remember that villager advantage is growing every minute. At the moment, it's growing by 3 per minute. In about 10 seconds, it's going to be growing by 6 per minute. Every minute that goes by, we're going to have 6 extra vils over the top of him that are going to be allowing us to produce units. So what we're going to do is now put a whole bunch of villagers onto wood. We need lots and lots and lots of wood. We want to prioritize getting our eco upgrades once we've aged up into the castle age. So you can see us going straight for double broadaxe. That's the most important one by far, because we want to try and get as much production up as we can. You can see these numbers are kind of getting a little bit crazy. We've got a lot of resources in the bank to spend. So during the transition period, this is probably an opportunity for me to say you could try and perfect the macro a little bit better. I'm kind of happy with how this works because it's very much like an explosion of wood that happens because you go into double broadaxe and then lumber preservation straight after it. And then you've just got a whole bunch of vills that are on your brand new King's Palace. I always recommend put your King's Palace on a wood line the same way I did for the town center. Just wood is by far the most important resource to have as the English. So we're going to start putting down more and more production facilities. You really can't go wrong with production. I would say even at this stage, if I went up to like 10 production facilities, it's probably a little bit early, but you could definitely justify going into that. We're going to also scout out where the enemy positions are. So very quickly, I start formulating a plan in my head. I say, okay, well, hold on a minute. I think I've worked out exactly what we need to do. We need to take out yellow, and then we'll flip and take out green after that. So that's our game plan, essentially. And we don't want to get hit from behind from green because we are quite exposed to him. So that's another thing that we will keep in mind here. So we'll speed it up a little bit. The combination that we're going to be going is crossbows together with men-at-arms. That's going to be the main thing that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be mixing units in depending on what our resources allow us to do. So if we don't have a lot of food, then that means that we could look to go into longbows. Or if we don't have a lot of gold, then maybe we could go into spearmen. So that's essentially the way that we do it. We focus on 2 unit types, men-at-arms and crossbows. But if our resources don't permit it, then very, very much so we will just split off into other unit types. The main thing, though, is we just want to keep producing lots and lots of units. Upgrades are starting to come through. Veterancy for our spearmen. We're starting to also get armor cladding. We're looking to pick up iron undermesh, bloomery, all of the good upgrades that we are going to need for an English army. So pumping out non-stop units, non-stop villages. We never stop making villages. That's the most important rule. Always be training villages at all times. So you can see right now I'm only training 2 vills out of 3 town centers. This is a big mistake. Drongo, I can't believe you'd do this, but it's all right. I'm a bit of a Drongo, so you'd have to excuse me. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake here. Are you not in the control group? What's going on here, buddy? So what's going on here? Okay. We fixed it up. We fixed it up. So now the push is starting to come in from our opponent. And at this stage here, I'm a little bit scared by this, right? A whole bunch of gulams, but we're okay. Our longbows are going to shoot at the enemy crossbows. Our crossbows are going to shoot the enemy gulams. And hopefully our frontline men-at-arms are going to hold. We want them to avoid attacking the battering ram like we're attacking right now. You can see the battering ram is actively being attacked. This is very annoying. Look at these battering rams. These don't need to be attacked. It's always nice to clear them out, but ideally we just want to be attacking the enemy units. So this is something to be very, very cautious of when you've got pushes like this happening. You can pull vills to repair. It's not really that important. Remember, your opponent has invested 200 wood in these battering rams. And have a look at this. I knew exactly what he was going to be up to. I said, he's just lost this fight. So many times, I've been attacked by someone, and as soon as they start losing their fight, they're like, okay, I'm just going to donate the king. And so immediately, I'm so glad I checked that. The entire reason I did that was because I'm like, okay, we got to check this guy. We got to make sure that he's not running his king. And of course, he's running his king. So what do? We straight away move to cover the king. We see that he's running it over towards purple. So purple over here. And I just said, okay, you know what? We're covering you straight away. And he goes, okay, oh, you're covering me. All right, no worries. I'll get back. And so basically, we just made sure to cut him off so that he wasn't able to donate the king. And just basically prevent that from happening. And that just guarantees or secures that position for us. All right, let's bring that sound back in now that the fighting, or at least the majority of the fighting, has stopped for now. So our king is going to stand guard at the top here, watching out for his monarch. We start to see some enemy landmarks going down. And we're diving into the base. The main thing that we're looking for is the king. Because I couldn't see the king up towards this top side, I'm like, oh, where did the king go? Where is he gone? And then we see the king back in the town center. We're happy. We're happy that the king is in the town center because now we can think about taking out our opponent. You can see that our macro's gone completely out the window. That is okay because we were very worried about the king. That's what we were focused on. So we've forgotten to make houses. We've forgotten to train units, or we've been housed. We haven't put down more production since our last production has been killed. But that's absolutely fine because what were we doing? We were focused on the monarch. That was the most important thing. Once again, confirm the location. Okay, it's fine. What is red doing? I didn't even realize. Red's just in the middle here, just with a random king, dude. Where's that king, dude? That king's just out here. I didn't even know. Red's just out. Red is just out here living his best life. Wow. All right. So let's focus a little bit on what we're doing and what the game plan is. So I mentioned earlier that we're taking and borrowing a lot of things that the Japanese do in their fast castle. And one of those big things is if you've got people close to you, you want to go for infantry. If you've got space, you want to go for cavalry. So if, as an example, we had spawned in where green is, and we didn't fight against that, who was it, orange, early on, and we just had this spawn, and you take a look at green spawn, he's down here. Where is his nearest player? His nearest player is probably teal, maybe me. What are we going to do? We're just going to make cavalry. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to make cav instead. We don't need to go into infantry. It's going to be way too slow for us. We can go into infantry later once we start pushing up towards the middle and we've got an ability to put down... I missed the king kill. I'm sorry. We killed the king. Hey, don't worry about it, okay? It's not a big deal. It's not like you knew it was going to happen. There's literally nowhere he can go, right? We were going to get the king. Don't worry. It was fine. We had him cut off. There was no question about it. We knew it was going to happen. Anyway, so essentially it's that same principle. If your enemies are far away and you've got space, go for cavalry. If your enemies are close to you and they look to threaten you, then you probably want to go into infantry. Normally, so as the Japanese, you just go samurai, and you can mix in Onibageisha, you can mix in some spearmen. As the English, I think men-at-arms crossbow is a really, really good combo. Add in some battering rams like this, and you're going to be absolutely a-okay. So let's talk a little bit about where we go from here. Our economy has been absolutely amazing. We've been booming on 3 town centers. We've been having a lovely time. So naturally, it's time to go towards Imperial Age. Once Imperial Age is on the cards, normally this is the stage at Imperial Age where you want to start walling up. So I want to start putting up stone walls around the edges of my base just to make sure that I can control the narrative, make sure that my opponent is not going to be able to do run-bys and take me out, because if they do, it's going to be a very difficult spot for me. So that's a really, really important thing that we want to make sure that we do. We will hopefully shortly see some stone walls coming up. The other thing that we want to start doing is expanding out with our outposts. So we want to start getting vision all around us of where our enemy is and where they are progressing. And one of the things that we can look to do is move towards the middle. Typically, there are more resources in the middle, so if we can move towards the middle, that's going to allow us the ability to secure more of those resources. So getting up a keep in the middle is going to be very helpful for that, because there's a lot of gold here. And even though we've got things like enclosures, which is going to be the very first tech that we click on, and it does produce gold, it's not a huge amount of gold, and it's not something that we can really rely on. So even though we have lots and lots of farms, what are we sitting on now? We're going to be close to 45? Yeah, 47 farms. So even though we've got lots of farms, it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all. All right. Now, I'll give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. You see underneath the ground here? Underneath the ground here, this is normally the indicator that this tree cannot be pathed through. So as an example over here, these trees can be pathed through. And sometimes you'll see this like on the, in random forests, on random stealth forests in particular. Like you'll have like a forest like this, and there'll just be one tree in there that's got this kind of stuff underneath it, and all of a sudden you just can't you can't build on that tree. So this tree right here, you might think that you can't path through here because the ground is all connected, but I'll spoil it for you. You can. I didn't realize that until a little bit later in this game. Spoiler alert. Let's keep on moving on. So we're now moving towards 250 population. We've got ourselves a real decent army going right now. You can see we've got a lot of men-at-arms in queue, and our main focus now is we want to try and get to 250 population. We want to avoid fighting, though, before we do it. So this fight that we're taking right now, this is a bad fight. This is widely regarded as a bad move right here, because we're fighting before we are at 250 population. But you know what? You see a couple of nested bees just chilling out in the middle. You got to take them, right? Like, you can't just allow them to survive. You can't just allow them to live like that. But then naturally, a few nest of bees becomes a Great Wall Gatehouse, and a Great Wall Gatehouse becomes a keep. You see where we're going with this. Things can evolve very quickly, and this is something that you want to avoid. So you want to be, typically you want to just be attacking people with the army that you prepared earlier. So we were definitely gearing up to attack green. That was 100% our intention, but things got in the way. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake there, a bit of an overextension there from me. But we've now got yellow, or rather yellow, pink in the middle, who's trying to secure up some gold here, and not going to have a whole lot of luck. So fortunately, we raced up a castle. Just as soon as we saw them putting down the castle, we threw a keep down, and then immediately looked to reinforce this position with all of our units. We brought our battering rams. We don't want them to have control of this in the middle. We want full control of this. So we're not going to allow it. We're going to deny it completely. And we're going to start working towards that maximum population. Now, I'm also making a bit of a mistake here. I remember reading somewhere, I think it might have been Reddit or a YouTube comment or something like that, where basically someone said, hey, try like full trebs. I say full trebs. Try like mass trebs, right? Like in FFA, you can probably get to like 20 trebs pretty easily. And they should be really good at like just doing everything, right? Like they should just be 16 range mangonels like the good old days. Don't make trebs. Don't make trebs. I tried it here. I thought, okay, maybe it will be good. They're terrible, dude. Their accuracy when trying to hit enemy siege is absolutely pathetic. I don't know what it is, but it felt like 10% or something. I would shoot with like all my boulders at a single nest of bees, and it would still be standing. I'm like, bro, I just hit you with like 50 boulders and you're still standing. Like, and these guys do significant damage. Like, we're talking 48 siege damage a pop here. But yeah, very good at killing buildings, not very good at killing units, which I'm sure you'd probably go, yeah, of course. And we do have the shattering projectile upgrade. You can see that coming through right now. So we're going to begin to push forward here. So you can see on the backside, like there's a nest of bees down here that's just eaten 8 shots from a trebuchet. You see what I mean? Like I was expecting that we were going to have like amazing things here, but this is not amazing. I have useless trebuchets. And we've got the extra attack speed coming through as well. Shattering projectiles is only just going to arrive in now. So I was hoping that maybe we'd see a little bit more, damage coming through, but it really didn't seem like it. I was having a lot of difficulty hitting these nest of bees on the back line. Let's keep watching and see what happens. Maybe I didn't give him enough a fair shake of the sauce bottle. We'll have to wait and see. You know what? I think I attacked without shattering projectiles, and that like just completely ruined it for me. I was like, oh, these are terrible. Because I did... Oh, okay, here we go. We got the shift click now coming through. So, I'm just going to pause it. We're rallying units through. We got lots of units rallying across the map. We don't have a lot of units in queue, but we should, like... Right now, there is no excuse for us not to have 0 resources in the bank. We should just be max, like, rallying every single barracks that we have. So, we've got 20 Raxes right now. Only 16 men-at-arms in queue. Big mistake. We've got 9 archery rangers. Only 5 hand cannons in queue. Big mistake. Siege Workshop, we should probably have like mangoes or something in here as well coming up, or maybe some trebs. We just want to be always filling in more and more units. So what's going on with the backline, or what's going on with the trebs here? It doesn't seem terrible. Now, with the shattering projectile upgrade, hold on, can I just check what the shattering projectile upgrade does again? I'm pretty sure it increases the radius of splash damage on your trebuchets. Trebuchet projectiles shatter on impact, increasing the area of effect. Yeah, increasing the area of effect, so the radius. So basically, gosh, the boulders look so weird. Did you see that? It didn't even damage the nest of bee at the back here. Okay, that one did. That one hit. We're making connections. Okay, we're making connections. Hold your horses. We're making connections. Are we going to be able to take these out? Oh, it looks like they're kind of moving. Okay, here we go. All right, there's one taken out. We're not all firing at the same time, so it's kind of a little bit... Okay. Okay. Maybe the cat's still out. The cat's still out? I don't know if that's the right term. Trebs aren't as bad as I thought. I'll say that much. Actually, you know what? As long as they can hit the target, it's fine. I think with shattering projectiles, they're okay. I'm going to have to give them another go, because I was definitely like, you know what? Like, I'm never making Trebs again. Yeah, okay, all right. We hit... As long as we hit the target, we're okay. So at this... all right. Sorry, I was a little bit off topic there. Forgive me. I apologize. Core upgrades. You know the typical rules. We're looking for chemistry. We're looking for siege works. We're looking for court architects. And of course, elite army tactics are going to be very big for us. When it comes to our late game composition, the main things that we're going to be looking at are men-at-arms together with hand cannoneers. You can go into rangers as well. So you can see that I'm adding in rangers. Rangers are really nice because you don't have to upgrade them to elite for you to be able to use them, right? Like they're already fully upgraded. The one thing to note is that you will need to get the ranged upgrades. You'll need to get the incendiary arrows as well. Very, very important. But our main focus here is just going to be men-at-arm together with hand cannoneers. English hand cannoneers are some of the best in the game just because they get the extra attack speed. So the extra attack speed that you get from your outposts is going to be provided. So we get an extra 40% attack speed. It means that our hand cannoneers are firing at a ridiculous amount. So they're going to be firing 1.64, so every 1.64 seconds versus once every 2.12 seconds. So that means, what? Over the course of 10 seconds, they're firing like 7 times, maybe 6 times, compared to 5 times of a standard hand cannoneer. So that's pretty good. They're quite a bit faster. So at this stage, Purple tells us, he says, hey, I'm under attack. I'm dying right now I'm dying right now to pink. And so immediately I say, yo, green, we got to stop fighting, please, brother. We got to go take out pink. But it's too late, unfortunately. The king, he goes down. And now the population for pink, I think he's 350. Yeah, he's 350 population. But you can see that he's not maxed, though. So a little bit of a mistake from him. So right now he should have 60 samurai in queue and should have like a whole bunch of bombards and Reboldaquin and all that good stuff. Tell me, he's got a few tickets. Not a huge amount. He's also trading as well, 46. There's no way that market stays alive for much longer. Trebs. Trebs. Never making another Treb again in my life, dude. So, let's go back to it. So, once again, we're going to be pushing up with our army here. So, we're running bombards together with hand cannoneers and men-at-arms. That's pretty much it. Don't really need much more than that. Mangoes can obviously help you out a bit as well. Springalds can be good if your opponent is going into Springalds, so you'll need Springalds to counter their Springalds. But other than that, it is pretty much just this. Another thing that we're doing is we're moving up with villages and we're dropping down outposts. This is another really important thing because it's going to be giving us that extra attack speed. If we don't have that extra attack speed, then, we're not going to be doing as much damage. So that's what we're going to be looking at. We're also going to be rallying in units non-stop. That's very, very important. So our siege is targeted onto their siege. A little bit of a mistake. We move right up to the line of scrimmage and get ourselves caught in the crossfire. We've got to make sure that we evacuate. So when we evacuate, we're going to pull out with our bombards only. We're going to let everything else pretty much go. We just want to try and keep the bombards alive because they are the expensive ones. Yeah, very, very important to keep those alive. So we're going to fall back and make sure that we are okay. But now we're in the position 2v1 up against Pink. So if we take a look at Pink, what's Pink's eco pop? He's at 107. Yeah, so I think he's kind of got the same problem that I have with the Order of the Dragon, where your eco gets very big, but then once you get kills, it just kind of stagnates because every time you get a kill, you immediately just build 50 military units and no economic units instead, because you've got like everything's fully popped, like everything's fully buffered. All right, so we've now started to add in the Reboldaquin into the late game. This is going to help us out a lot against Samurai. It's a really nice unit that you can flex into. So if we take a look at our production that we've got right now, we've got 7 siege workshops, 17 archery ranges, 30 barracks. and we're moving towards the middle. So you can see that a lot of our production now is towards the middle of the map. This is very intentional because we want to look to take this sacred site. There's a single sacred site, but we're not going to take it until pink is dealt with. We need to take him out, and we need to make sure that green focuses on the goal. The goal here is to take out pink. And one of the things that I say, and I encourage you to say it as well, and tell them, we need to take out pink. If you help me take out pink, I'll let you have the king kill. And this is often something that really helps or convince people. It's because if you're ahead in the population, like I thought I was, I thought, okay, I've got a kill here. So, you know, maybe let's make it even. That way, you know, we will both have a king kill each. And then that kind of is like an incentive. Like, okay, well, if you're going to let me have the king kill, then yeah, sure, we can go and attack that guy. Yeah, then that way they see their chance of winning increasing. The truth is, you're lying to them. You're not going to let them have the king kill, and you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that you get the king kill, because you're a dirty little scoundrel, and that's what you care about. You care about winning, don't you? You're just like me, except maybe you've got a little bit more honor. In which case, just tell them, hey, let's go kill pink. I want to get the king kill though, please. No, don't say that. They won't team up. I mean, to be fair, you probably wouldn't be teaming up in the first place. But you got to do it when they got lots of population. All right, so we're starting to look really good. We're starting to look really healthy. We are completely walled in. And this is important because we're playing against the Chinese. They have access to the Fire Lancer. As you can see, our base is completely walled in. We have no weak points whatsoever. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. Look at that damn thing, dude. Oh my god. I looked at that and I'm like, yeah, there's no way that's not like completely blocked off, right? Like that is just 100%. It's blocked. It's not blocked. It's not blocked. It's not blocked, bro. So, we continue pushing forward. We add in more units, so we're just rallying units up here. I think we kind of messed up one of our rally points. Never mind, we're okay. And now we're just focused on the king. So we know where the king is. We know that he's in the Shogunate Castle. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to look to move my ranged units to the back of the Shogunate Castle. I want to make sure that if the king escapes, we're going to be able to take him out very, very quickly. So here the hand cannoneers are going to be moving up. So you can see us moving up as close as we can. He realizes, immediately pops the sprint. Fire Lancer's also going to be looking for the kill right here. King is running towards no man's land, but the hand cannoneers are too fast. Gives us an extra 50 pop, and immediately we start pumping out more and more units. But straight away, green, he knows what is up. He begins making a whole bunch of stables and rallies straight towards our base. You can see all of the units, if we ride on board with him, he knows exactly where he's going. He's attacking the town center. He knows the king is in here. At least I'm hoping he knows the king is in here from using his ability. Where is his king? I'm not quite sure where. There we go. It's in this town center right now. So I think he was attacking this one first, which is a good thing. So it's in this town center, which is weak, and he's just right-clicking on it. And one of the things that I see when you see all of the units rallying like this towards a single position, this is an immediate cause for concern, because this is basically the AI in the game being like, yes, we found a way through. And immediately I'm like, hold on a minute, that's not good. So we look to cover this straight away with a stone wall. The problem is, our units get in the way. Yep, that's the problem. Our units get in the way. Not his units, our units get in the way. Yeah, it can just be very difficult. So we've managed to evacuate the king into the main town center. We've also got court architects. The problem is we're not really doing much with our units. I don't have them set to attack move. I'm just kind of rallying towards this position, which is where his units are going. And everything is coming in. So naturally what we're going to do is delete what we've got in the back here. And we're going to rush up a keep. We've got a lot of villagers here that are building it. I think these ones go idle. But we can see the town center is going down very, very quickly. So at this stage of the game, what I actually needed to do was bait him. So I needed to bait him out the back so he'd move all of his fire lancers here. And then I run the king over to the town center here. That's what I should have done. Meanwhile, towards the front, so we've held this completely on the front. You can see the stone wall finally gets up, but there's too many fire lancers in the base. He's already got 40 fire lancers, which is more than enough. King, we're going to bring him out. We try and get him towards the keep. but unfortunately, it's just a little bit too far, and we do end up losing the game. So make sure you wall your bases, make sure you double check that you wall them, and don't trust a tree ever. Don't trust a tree line. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this look at the English in FFA, and hopefully this helps you out when it comes to playing your own games on the ladder. We'll leave it there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.